Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be talking about another highly anticipated album that has released recently, and we're talking about no other than Baby Keem, because it seems like we're just getting major release after major release after major release back to back to back weeks, because this year currently has been super fucking stacked with likes of ASAP Rocky dropping an album almost after like 8 years, and then you had J. Cole dropping his allegedly last album ever, The Fall Off, and now we have Baby Keem's newest album titled Casino. And after 5 years of waiting for this album, nearly 5 years since his previous album, The Melodic Blue, dare I say, this has easily been his best album and has concurrently is my album of the year. This album, just gonna put it straight, this album was exceptional, was great, it was damn near fucking perfect. I'll just put it there immediately. There's like little flaws that I have about it, but overall great fucking album, and I'm excited for hip hop because it's the strongest it's been in a long time. Let's just say that. I know a lot of people keep making this meme of 2026 is the new 2016, but it really feeling that way considering how hip hop is coming out really strong in the early quarter of the year. So let's just dig right into it and just talk about this new album that Baby Keem has dropped. So Baby Keem recently dropped his newest album, his sophomore album, Casino, coming at a runtime of 36 minutes with about 11 tracks on the album. Originally, it was supposed to have 12 tracks, but I guess one got removed or whatever before it released. So, I mean, that is unfortunate. But overall, again, it doesn't matter. And let's just talk about how much I love this album. So, one of my favorite things about this album, one of the best aspects about this album, is that it's short. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea when an artist takes like 5 years to drop an album and all they give you is about 30 minutes of runtime of the actual music itself. But in my opinion, that's a good thing because I'm tired of hearing these mainstream albums getting 20 bloated ass tracks on an album that I don't want to listen through, and it takes you about a whole hour to listen to. I'd rather listen to a great album twice than listen to one album that is mid for a whole hour. I'm sorry, I just rather do that instead. So my biggest fucking applause for Baby Keem is doing 11 tracks for an album. It seemed really short, and I was like, I guess I'll take it. But if it's more cohesive and more like professional sounding and everything like that, I'd rather take that over some mediocre bullshit that a lot of these mainstream rappers just like to put out just because of the contract they have signed and they need to put music out. So Baby King took about almost 5 years to drop this album. So the expectations here were pretty high considering his last album was pretty good with the Melodic Blue. It had a bunch of hits. It had songs like 16. You had songs like on the deluxe, like Hooligan. You had Bank Account on there. You had obviously Lost Souls featuring Brent Faiyaz. Obviously, you had his major hit song on there, Family Ties featuring Kendrick Lamar, Trademark USA. He had a lot of great songs on that album. I think the album is pretty good. Although I do think Casino is the better album. It is more cohesive. It has more direction, it has more purpose. There is a theme throughout the album that I really like, for him talking about like his mom and like the casino and stuff. Obviously there's some lore for him because apparently he named the album Casino because that's where he would go to like cope about his problems or anything like that, because obviously he grew up in a broken home and everything like that. I'm not into lyricism, but it's funny because some of my favorite songs were the lyrical ones. But the performances for Baby Keem on here were exceptional. Like, something that I noticed immediately off the jump from the first track, Baby Keem sounds so different. The voice sounds different. His tempo sounds different. Everything, the flows, everything was completely different from the Melodic Blue. It just seems like he just evolved. He just didn't like stay the same, where some rappers will just stay the same for years and just never evolve. Baby Keem did the opposite. He completely changed it up, switched everything up. The production was great. Everything just seemed like it just got an upgrade. Literally practically everything. So I don't really have anything to complain about like his performances, because I think almost all his performances were stellar, great, good. So that gives a thumbs up for me. There's nothing much else for me to say other than I just liked his performances. His voice clearly has changed. Like, I feel like in the Melodic Blue, his voice was like really whiny, really loud, high pitch, and I didn't have a problem with that. I think it worked for him. However, I think people want to listen to a guy who's a little more serious, with more deeper tone of a voice, and that's what you get on this album. It's more serious and it's more compact, and it's just more impactful to the listener. And so some of my favorite tracks on here, my three best tracks in order, is number one coming at Dramatic Girl. I think that's easily the best song on here. It's a happy-go-lucky song, beautiful production, great feature of the artist on here. The performances for both artists were just fucking fantastic. It's a perfect song in my opinion. The second track I have on here is Casino. It's a fucking awesome fucking song, lyrical masterpiece over there. Coming at a 4-minute runtime, whatever like that. You got beat switches and everything like that. Fucking awesome. And then finally, my third favorite track is I Am Not a Lyricist, which is ironic because here he is being lyrical as fuck, and I just think it's fucking great and thought provoking. And I really loved it, and I love the production on there. So just overall, like, I have nothing to say bad about this album much. There's just a lot of praise for me. I love that the album was short. I love that Baby Keem has changed, evolved, the voice changed and everything like that. The performances from the features were great, besides one. We will talk about that. And he just gets vulnerable here. He talked about his life and just things that you just want from an album. And I just like that there was a theme and it was cohesive throughout the whole entire track list. So let's just talk about the one thing that I didn't like about this album, because there's one song in particular that a lot of people are talking about, and I want to talk about it too, and it's obviously the song with Kendrick Lamar. So there's 2 songs on here, the album, that are with Kendrick Lamar, but we're going to talk about the one that mainly has an actual Kendrick Lamar performance that is pretty lengthy, and that is Good Flirts. In my opinion, Good Flirts is the weakest track on the album, unfortunately, which kind of bums me out considering Family Ties is such a fucking banger, and then you had Range Brothers as well, which I thought was good too. And then we get this one, and it's just, this is easily their weakest collab in my opinion. They came in with like a lovey-dovey song, which is interesting to do, but they did it, and I just don't think it landed well. Baby Keem's part was fine. He was on the chorus, and then you had the other artists as well, also on the chorus as well. Baby Keem's part was fine. It was just it was fine. Like, the song was fine, but then we get to Kendrick Lamar's part, and that's when the song goes from fine to just mediocre. I don't think Kendrick Lamar's part was great. I think it was it just feels phoned in. It felt kind of corny too, with this booty stuff at the end, and then he referenced Young Thug. I'm seeing a lot of hip hop pages saying he dissed Young Thug. I don't think so. I think he was just saying, hey, I like to gossip with my girl too, like Young Thug. That's it. It's not a diss. I don't think it's a diss. Maybe it is to some people. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I just don't think this Kendrick Lamar feature was great. I don't know what it is. Kendrick Lamar, you cannot sing. Someone needs to tell Kendrick Lamar he cannot sing. The only reason he thinks he can sing is because all his hits come with songs that have SZA on there, who can sing. So I don't know what he's doing. I don't know whose thought process was, hey, let's put Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar on a singing track, and let's hope it makes magic like they did on Family Ties. Family Ties is a rapping masterpiece. Good Flirts is just a mess, in my opinion. So it's easily the weakest song on here. I think the song is mid. This is the only skip, in my opinion, on the album. So that's cool, I guess. But yeah, that's just something I had to talk about. But overall, great fucking album. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. So let me talk about album sales predictions. I'm seeing a lot of people saying this album's gonna go #1, it deserves to go #1. I agree. I think it deserves to go #1. However, I don't think it is gonna go #1. Guys, it only has 11 tracks, and Baby Keem isn't he's not Kendrick Lamar. He's not J. Cole. He's not Drake. He's not Uzi. He's not Cardi. He apparently isn't Don Toliver. I think I'd put him in the range, like, commercial success wise, popularity. I'm gonna put him on the same level as Yeet. He has gone #1 before. Baby Keem can go #1 if he like does manipulate the sales, as in like he gets a lot of like merch sales and stuff like that, pure sales, people like buying it, like the physical copy and stuff, because overall I think the replay value is there. I think people are going to listen to the fuck out of this album. However, he's not that big of an artist. Like, I'm not going to sit here and just lie. I think the album's fucking phenomenal. I think it deserves everyone to listen to it. However, I don't think that's going to be the case here. Maybe it'll grow over time and become a commercial masterpiece at the end of the year or something, and everyone's listening to it at the end of the year. But to go #1 is really difficult because it means a gigantic portion amount of people need to listen to it within that first week, not over time. So my prediction is that's going to sell between 50,000 units and 70,000 units in this first week. It may compete with other artists like Taylor Swift's album or something, or Bad Bunny. I just don't think it's gonna sell more than that this week, but maybe it will. I just don't think it is gonna go #1. It's probably gonna go #3 or #2 on Billboard 200, which is not a fucking diss. It's not a bad thing. Baby Keem's only gonna go up from here. Hopefully his next album doesn't take fucking 5 years to release. If it does, for whatever reason, it's just dumb. Like, this guy is so young. He's 25. Dude, just drop within every 2 years. You don't have to do it every year. Just drop like bi-yearly. You don't got to do it every year or like every half a year or some shit like that, like some artists do. But overall, I think this album was fucking great. I hope it is a commercial success. I hope he does well in his tour. I hope everything does well in his career because I genuinely think this guy is fucking great. So yeah, I have nothing else to say, but this is currently my album of the year, and I hope y'all loved it as much as I did. Let me know what you thought about the album, and I'll see you next time.